Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. I believe this is episode number 12. No, not number 12. This is episode number 13. Yes, episode number 13. So let's get in. For episode number 13, we have some few updates. And that being said, if I can just log into Alpha Capital and why that's coming up, where I have FTMO here. Okay, we're into Alpha Capital. Update number one is I have blown the two-step 200K account from my reinvestment profits into Capital Video. So after our $10,000 payout, we bought two accounts, um, a 200K two-step account from Alpha Capital and a 100K 5%ers account two-step, and we also did buy a two-step FTMO challenge account. Those were the three accounts I believe we bought. So first update, we blew the 200K challenge. It's now gone. So the only account that we have left we're trading is still our 100K swing account, which um as you can see, the month of March was not a good month for me. Hence why I blew the 200K challenge account. But from the beginning of March, we just kept taking, downward spiral. Loss, make some money, lose again, make some money, lose again, make little money, lose again, lose again until the end of the month. It was at the end of the month that we finally got our groove back and made something of ourselves. And if I show you the calendar for March, you can see what our March calendar looks like. We started off very good with a $500 profit and then steady, constant losses. And halfway through the month, we made 1700 and steady, blew it right back the next day, constant losses. The following week, we made $160 and kept losing and kept losing and kept losing up until the end of the month. But the good news is, throughout all these losses, we were not able to go below our $5,000 a day loss and our $10,000 maximum loss. So, what that means is, at the beginning of the month of April, which I can go into it right here, we made a $3,800 profit, and that sort of brought our account back, to $100,000 and some change. And then on Thursday, the second, which is today, we also did close a trade of $441, and now our balance is at $106. So our consistency score is now 794, and we need it to be below 40 for us to be able to do a withdrawal. And I plan on, doing my withdrawals at the end of every month so that I can give myself a full month of consistent trading. But March was a horrible trading month for me. And so yeah, but we've started April, in green, so that's good. That is really, really, really good. With FTMO, the first challenge account that we got, I think it was this one. Let's make it visible. It was this one. If I can see what it is. I think it may be, yes, it is this one. Now, on our very first trade, we passed the challenge. On our very first day of trading, we made $11,000 on the very first day, and we passed the profit target of 10,000. And so this was checked. Boom. Now, the very next day, we took a $4,900 loss, and that which one did I breach? We breached the maximum daily loss of 5,000. So the very next day, we lost $5,035. I do not know why I overtraded after making 11 grand. I should have just reduced my lot size to maybe 0.02 and maybe, lose 100 here, 200 there for the next 3 days to pass the uh, evaluation, to pass the phase one. But, that's what happened. We passed it on day one, and day two, we blew it. So that was what happened with this account, as you can see on the equity curve. Day one passed, day two blown. That lasted 2 trading days. And so, if we go back, a couple days ago, I started a new challenge, meaning I reinvested into a new challenge. And this is a challenge here which I did succeed in passing the phase one. So let's go into that, and we can see what happened. So again, March 23, March was a terrible month for me. So we started the challenge off with just steady losses, and at its lowest, we were on $92,000 at its lowest. But luckily for me, I did not breach the $5,000 a day, and I almost breached the 10K maximum loss. But since I did not breach the 10K maximum loss, I was safe. And then, you know, kind of brought it up a little to about 98 grand. Okay, I was feeling myself, a little confident. But then it was still in March, so I dragged it back again to the bottom, and this time at 92.7. So I made 592 to 98. I made 6 grand and then lost 6 grand again. And then slowly, made 1,000, made 4,000. And if you can see where the green and the red match from equity curve, the date on there is March 1st. April 1st. So April has been a very good month for me on this challenge too. So on April, I got it back into green, and from there we just took off. We just took off from April. So that being said, we traded the account for 8 days, minimum of 4 days. Max traded loss of $5,000. We lose $4,859 in a day. Now, so this is about what, 850, we can say 860. So that's $140 left for us to breach that account. But thank God I did it. And our max loss went to 7,600. So, and then, and these are the trades we took. The first was a $4,000 loss. It just went down. Then we made 2,000, took it back to 98, and then we lost 4,800 again, and then we lost 100. And this was March 31st, and then the beginning of April we just took off. We made $1,900, and then on April 1st we made $15,000, and so that was the takeoff. After the 1,900, and then we made 15,000, they just took off. And so yeah, these were the days that we traded, and our equity. So as you can see, we made it to $110,000, 250 cents, $2.50. Sorry. So I did not want to go overboard. I just, as soon as I got the 110,000 mark, I closed all trades immediately. So our win rate 61%. Average profit $1,000. Average loss $900. That is not good. They're almost the same. We took 36 trades. As you can see, the number of trades this time is really high compared to the previous challenges. We traded 11 lots, sharp ratio 0.25, 1 risk to reward, expectancy 2, all of those. And there we go. So if we go to March calendar, you'd see all the trades 4,000, 2,000, 4,800, and on the 31st we made 1,900, and on the 1st we made 15,000 from 9 trades. There we go. There it is. $15,000 from 9 trades, and the curve just went up. So there it is. So we got funded. From our notification, we got funded. Not funded. I'm sorry. We passed the challenge, FTMO challenge, and then we went to a verification, which is phase 2, and this is the account for phase 2, which I can show you here. Right now it's still empty because we haven't taken any trades, and and we need to make a $5,000 profitability is 5%, $5,000 on this evaluation verification to become funded, and I want to trade it diligently. Only take setups when they are good setups to take, because I really need to keep this account. I have blown what, 2 accounts already. I don't want to blow the third, because right now I am in deficit overall. So that was that. For our third challenge that we did buy was the 5 percenters, which I'll take you. They use the C trader. And since March was a losing month, we also were losing on this account challenge. We're still on phase 1, and we did take the equity down to 200 and something, but after some little management, we are trying to revive the account. It's now on $91, 497. So we're still alive on this account. Hopefully we can revive it back to 100K, and then make the 8K profit target for phase 1, and then 5K for phase 2. Now, the reason why I did not replicate where was FTMO? The reason why I did not replicate the trades that I took on my the reason why I did not replicate these let's go back to that. You can see there's 12 trades here. The reason why I did not replicate these 12 trades that sort of give a buffer to my FTMO account on the C trader was because our equity was literally $90,240. So while I was taking out buy positions for 0.1, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, I could only take 2 positions on this account, which was a 0.1, and then I let it go into some profits, and then I took a 0.2, and then I let it go into some profits. and then I took a 0.01. We went to some profit. Then I took 0.02. The profits also accumulated. Then I went to 0.04 and the profits also accumulated. I don't know if I can see my trade history. Yes, we can see the trade history. There we go. There we go. So yes, I started with zero. Where was, let's see, 31st of March, 31st of March, 1st of April. So I started with a 0.01 lot, went into some profits. Then I went to 0.02 lots, went into some profits. Then I went to 0.04 lots, went into some profits. And then I felt I had enough buffer. You know, I think it was at this point, it was about $1,000. And then I went into 0.1 lots. I went bold and then went to a little bit profits. But with higher lots, the drawdown, the losses go down a little. So I closed this guy early. And on the 1st of April, I went to 0.04 lots and I made a little bit of money, you know. So we made 131 $1,300. So that was how I realized P&L. So you can see we only took 4 trades. What is it for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades in those 2 days. While for FTMO, you can see these are a lot of them. This is what? How many trades? 12, because we had $2,000 to work with. So we took 12 on there, and then on the very next day, on April 1st, we took 9 more trades. This time with improved lots of 0.4, 0.04, 0.04, 0.04, which gave us a little, and then we went ballsy and took 0.5 lots for almost an hour, which gave us $300. 0.5 again, which gave us $3,000. 0.04, which gave us $5,200. And then I went and traded a different currency pair, and we took a loss. Again, stick to one currency pair. Then went back to gold, 0.5 gave us $4,100. Gold again, 0.5 gave us $9. So this was the last trade that we took. Because when I closed all of these trades up until this point, our equity was at 109,998, and I needed $2 more to $2 more to reach the 10% the pass level for 10%. So I don't know if this is going to show what I did. Yes, it's going to show it. So I closed the previous trades within this candle, and our total was 109,998, and I did $2 more to close that. And so I took the last trade, this trade here, on this candle, and as soon as the balance went above 110,000, which in this case was $9, I closed the trade immediately because I just wanted to go above. That's why our total just went up to $110,002, which I think in hindsight now it was at 990 7. Yes, 997. And then we added the $9, it went to 102. Then I closed it, God willingly. Now, immediately after I closed uh, the trade on this one, it's on a 1 minute candle. I closed it on this candle. The very next minute, the market tanked, and then kept tanking, and then kept tanking. So, what am I saying? If I had not closed this trade with 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, the market tanking here would have, brought me back to making 110K and then losing 4, maybe 5K on the spot, and going back to, and see the market just kept tanking, 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 tanking. But luckily for us, we already hit our, and I was very vigilant. I was watching this trade. I just needed it to, cross the threshold. Had it been I was not present at this same moment, and I was just trusting these guys to take me to that point. This drawdown with zero point 0.5 lots, zero point 0.5 lots, zero point 0.4 lots would have eaten most of that money. So luckily I was on hand watching the charts. And as soon as I closed, the market tanked. And then it just keep tanking and tanking and tanking and tanking. So there is that. So that was why I could not, go big as I went big on the FTMO, because we were literally working with 200 and something dollars on this account. But we brought it back to, um 97. So now we can take our regular size trades, risking 497 or 1 to 3, and build it consistently up until that point. So, and we also, while all that was going on, we did also manage to bring this guy back up to break even, and now we just need to trade it consistently too. So now we're trading 3 accounts: our FTMO, which looks to be a swing account, and our Alpha Capital swing account, and our 5 percenters. So those are the 3 accounts that we're trading, and the FTMO 2-step account is here. We haven't taken a trade yet. We're still waiting for the markets to give us a good setup that we can trade. So I think this rounds up our catching up for the accounts that we're trading. A couple blown accounts, a couple interesting stories, and also some time to look forward. So looking forward then, what are we expecting from this market? Let's do some analysis of what we're waiting for. So this was where I closed the gold trade to pass the FTMO account. Then it dropped and then went back and then drop. So this is gold. And funny enough, we did have this level marked when the market was falling the very first time. We tested this zone. Buyers came in here and then sellers pushed it down. And then what I was doing, my analysis for getting into those trades, as I was doing, was the market structure. We made a lower low here, which I knew this was a lower low from the daily, because during the fall, the wick came and retested the 200 moving average. So, and then it closed, with a rejection, I would say. So I think, oh, okay, so I say, okay, you've retested the 200 and rejected. And also it properly retested this zone, the proper, resistance zone support, retested it properly. On the first drop, it almost retested and then went back up. And then came back and retested it properly, and now it's going back up. So I believe this is going to be an uptrend. So 1, 2, 3. So retesting the 200 and retesting this zone that we have is confirmation that okay, now we've hit the support area. Now we're pushing back up. So we go into the 4 hours. It gets a little interesting here. So we make a low, and then we make a lower, make another one. So a low, a high, a higher high, a lower low, make a higher high, make another lower low here. And then we've made this higher high, and we just made another lower low. right here. And so in the 1 hour, this is areas where I started getting into the trades using supply and demand. You can see there's an internal low to high, make a lower low, make a higher high, make a lower low, a high, make a new low, a high, and then using supply and demand, which I was using, identified our demand zone and took our first series of 0.01 lot trades. I just spammed, I think it was I had 5 of them, and then kept them going. Um, Couple hours, maybe I think it was the next day. Uh, this one was on the Alpha Capital Swing account. To this one, and we made a new high. I also went through the 15 minutes. Uh, there we go. I should remove this. We went to the 15-minute indicate, identified another demand zone, and took another trade here. Boom. But I wasn't just following the demand and supply 1 to 3. I was just spamming buys. And go back to the hour. So we kept making these levels, and I think this was where is the March Tuesday 31st. This was the area where I was spamming the the orders for Tuesday. Yep, the orders for the, let's see, it's this. I think it was around this point on the 31st when I started spamming the 0.1 buys, and then it went up. Then spam more buys, and then went up, pulled back. At this point, I spam more buys, went up, went up, spam more buys, went up, and then finally hit the profit target. So it was during this run that I took advantage of, and we went to break even on the alpha swing and passed the FTMO challenge 10K, and also made 1300 on the 5%ers. So yesterday the market dropped, and I saw it dropped, but I wasn't ready to. I was expecting it to get to this zone. I expected that this movement was supposed to get back to this. This was a zone that I was expecting it to come and retest, and then decide if it would drop or go above. But for some reason, um, it got here and fell. Which I know why it got there and fell, because I am also using trend lines. Trend lines on the 4 hours, and we have one touch point, two, maybe 2, 3, but I'll count this as one touch point, and this is our third touch point, which means this final push may as well just maybe do another do this, and then finally broke to this level. Now this is my anticipation of what is going to happen. um Bringing it to this level, is what I'm anticipating. um and we it's going to be interesting for us to see what happens at this level, but I'm anticipating once we break this downward trend line, it means we're fully back, we're back into full bullish mode, and that's what I'm anticipating. The market is going to happen. But then what I am waiting on for is in the 1 hour. is I have identified this area that has been tested for the markets to come back again and give me something. And that something is in the 15 minutes, we can clearly see when it made that low, it made a lower high, and it was supposed to, make a new lower low, but rather it made a, a, a lower low, lower high, lower low. Instead of making a lower low, it made it's almost like a reversal in the lower high in the upward movement. So at this point now, you know, it was a downward movement of some sorts, a little bouncing action, and then dropped. So I was expecting it to make a lower high and then keep dropping, but it didn't. Instead, it got to this point and then made a higher, a lower, a higher high or lower high, whatever it is, and then pulled back and then made a higher high. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is now we're back in an upward trend. And since we're back in an upward trend, I have identified uh, this break of structure because we've broken the lower high. And after identifying that break of structure, I also identify my demand zone. I also identified my demand zone. And so the trade that I am hoping to take from here is if the markets push down and tap this demand zone, then we can take that movement back up top. This is what I'm hoping will happen. But I have my alarm uh set on that zone. That when the markets get to that zone, I get an alert, and then I'll decide if I want to take the trade or not. Now, if that doesn't happen, I will. I also have an alarm at the top to say if this push, gets above this zone and clears, which means it's going to make a new higher high, then I'll probably look for another demand zone in this area and then wait for the markets to come and retest as it did with these guys. New high, retest the zone, make new high, retest the zone. So it's the same thing I'm looking for here. So that's why I haven't taken the trades on any of our accounts yet. We're still waiting and see what the market is going to do. And I think that concludes our video for today. Thank you guys for watching. I think that is 33 minutes, our sweet spot. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. I'll see you all in the next episode.